What's going on there, everybody? ShinRobjira here, and it's about flip dippity time. I have finally gotten my hands on the one Jakks-specific figure that I settled on after the whole Bandai debacle, and that is the 20-centimeter long Jakks-specific Godzilla 2019 figure. As you can see, he's not quite complete. We're gonna do that on camera, but beforehand, I just want to talk about the packaging for this dude. Cue the pictures. The packaging, while basic, is very, very cool looking. I like it. It's definitely something that's going to catch your eye as you're walking down the aisles looking for them. Really love the front with the cardboard cutout image of Godzilla. It's really, really cool. Loving the shades of blue that King of the Monsters is going for. And when it comes to the left and right sides of the box, you're essentially going to get the same thing. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Godzilla. This is the figure you've bought. Blah, 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 blah. The back, you'll see that it says over 20 inches long. Articulating arms and legs. And we have a picture of Godzilla on the back that kinda really doesn't look like the figure we just picked up. Huh. Anyway, my biggest question when first looking at this figure is, where the hell is his tail? Well, his tail is encased in a little plastic shell on the bottom of the box, right over here. And once you get the figure out, basically you just lift up the little plastic thing and the tail will pop out. I really do like the packaging for the Jakks-specific line. It looks really, really cool. Yet again, I find it very eye-grabbing. But now let's get back to the figure. Ah, yes, the figure. So happy to finally have this guy in my possession, but first, we have to put together this here tail. I mean, taking a chance to look at the tail, I mean, it looks really, really nice. It's mostly gray. It's got some pretty good detail on there, you know, for a kid's toy. And I'm liking that this is essentially a plug. It's not some piece of rubber that's gonna take forever to get into Godzilla's backside. All right, here is the tip of the tail. Pretty much the same thing going on, same color scheme, good detail. You know, the whole ishkabibble. Okay, so from what I gather, you push this in. Okay, and there we go. So it looks like the tail can spin all the way around. Yeah, look at that. I mean, it looks pretty ridiculous when you do it like that. That just looks like Geometry Wars or something. Nothing cool. And the tip of the tail is hollow, possibly vinyl, while the base of the tail over here is plastic. Godzilla yet again, I apologize. I mean, I say yet again, but you lot haven't seen that episode yet. Okay. No, we gotta keep going. Sorry, G-boy. Okay. Look at that. And just like the tip of the tail can go all the way around. Bully! Alright, I wonder. Alright, I gotta see if this is real. From Godzilla's foot to the tip of his tail, he is about 18 centimeters long. Yeah, about 18 centimeters long. But from his lower jaw to the tip of his tail, he is going to be about 24 inches long. I know you lot can't see that just yet. Hold on. Yeah, you see that? From his lower jaw to the tip of his tail, he is over 24 inches long. Which coincides with the information on the box, over 20 inches long. Yeah. And from his foot to the tallest dorsal plate on his back, he is going to be about nearly 12 inches tall. Cool. Okay, we got all that size and packaging mumbo jumbo out of there. Now let's talk about articulation. Alrighty. So right up front, we've got articulation in the arms, nothing in the wrist, although it looked like it at first. So the arms can go down about that far, and at the risk of breaking this, I'm not going to push it, but it looks like the arms can go up about that far as well. Holy, he's full of holies! Down about that far for the arm, up about that far for the arm. Nothing in the head, although the head is moving a little bit. Nothing in the jaw. Oh damn, he's looking at Godzilla's thunder thigh legs over here. Looks like he can kick forward pretty decently. And it looks like he can kick back pretty decently too. Nothing wide, nothing crazy. And mark my eye, no, there is no articulation in the ankles. That's actually kind of surprising. For the sake of sakes, back that far forward. And as demonstrated before, the tail can go all the way around at the base, and it can go all the way around at the tip. All right, so in terms of articulation, this guy isn't too special. I wouldn't say very special at all. But again, he's a kid's toy. Now, the only thing we can talk about is paint and detail, and since most of this dude is gray to some degree, we're going to be talking about paint apps and detail. Let's get started. Okay, up first, we're looking at the head, and surprisingly, the teeth are fairly well painted. The teeth, in all honesty, was the part that I was the most worried about in terms of paint, because I've seen some sloppily painted teeth on all different spectrums of Godzilla. But, surprisingly, these teeth are pretty good looking. No matter the angle, they look pretty good, you know? For a kid's toy. Now, when taking a look at this boy's eyes, yes, his eyes. The eye on this side of the face as compared to the eye on the other side of the face seems to have been applied a little bit too high, and the pupil is rather messy. Like on the opposite side, I'm not gonna say it's picture perfect, but it's pretty dang good. But this side, that's a yikes. And of course it's on the side without screw holes. Looking inside the mouth, the tongue is painted very well. It almost looks spongy. That's how well it was painted. Interesting. Very interesting. Jakks specific, I give you credit on the teeth and I give you credit on the tongue, but the eyes definitely suffered on this one. Alright, taking a look at Godzilla's chest and crotchal region, we will see that there is a faint little bit of like this tannish brown for his underbelly. And it looks good. It highlights a lot of the details on his stomach. I mean, I can't really necessarily call it messily painted because it looks pretty dang to a T. I mean, even on his upper neck over here, it looks pretty good. It's just used, you know, rather sparingly. Something I wasn't expecting, though, is that this brown tan wash paint continues through the crotch and to the base of his tail. Ironically enough, the paint on the base of the tail ends where you apply the other parts of the tail. That's unfortunate. I mean, I say that like I was expecting this thing to be coated in paint of all different colors, but, you know. Now, in terms of detail, surprisingly enough, there's a lot of detail on this figure. We've got detail on the arms. We've got detail on the legs. As you just saw, we have detail on the chest. We have some very fine details on the head and the neck, especially in the gill areas. Looking at this picture here, though, you can see the detail starts to really whittle away once it hits the tail. Then the tail just becomes that very snaky alligator skin looking gig. And even though we saw this in the pictures released before the figures came out, the dorsal plates really don't have much detail on them. There are some grooves that are highlighted by the lights, and that looks very nice, but once you get down lower on the tail, yeah, the detail starts to get less and less noticeable, but detail is still there, so I'll give Jakks specific that. Now, unfortunately, there is an ugly side to this figure, and that is the opposite side with all of the screw holes in it. I understand why they did this, but at the same time, I don't understand why they did this. It's like, you guys really can't cover up screw holes? Maybe I am asking too much from a kid's toy, but, you know? Another thing that just caught my eye is that Godzilla's head and his neck, they look like they're two different shades of gray. Like, the neck and the rest of the body area kind of have like this weird grayish blue to it, and then his head is kind of just gray. The same with the dorsal plates, although the dorsal plates are a little bit lighter. I don't know if it's just how my eyes work, but it's pretty obvious. Yeah, I know, it's a kid's toy. It costs $20. I'm nitpicking, I know. Finally getting a look at Godzilla's new feet. Yeah, Godzilla's feet look pretty dang good. He's got the longer pointer toenail. He's got the shorter side nails. And I honestly really thought that these things would be articulated. That pretty much is going to wrap it up on detail and paint. For a kid's toy, he's pretty well detailed. And as minimal as the paint is, it was applied very well too, aside from that one little wonky eye. Yes, I understand these things were made for kids, but, you know, kids deserve quality too. Alright, let's get into that size comparison. From the side, our JP Godzilla 2019 figure is both taller and longer than the Godzilla Kaiju-O series Godzilla Filius, or Godzilla Earth. The same can be said for Awakening Shin-Godzilla from the Kaiju-O series, or the Monster King series. You know, minus the tail, of course. And then here are all three of them side by side. Here is the figure as compared to the Bandai Japan Godzilla 2014 figure, and he dwarfs Bandai's Godzilla 2014 figure by like, a lot. Next up, here is our new boy next to the Godzilla GMK Bandai figure, the supersized Godzilla GMK figure, and yet again, he dwarfs him. And here they all are, side by side. And then here is our new KOTM boy next to the original Jakks-specific Jumbo Godzilla 2014 figure. This isn't the re-release version, this is the original. And holy cripe, that dude is still the biggest Godzilla figure I own. More on that at a different time. A week. So basically, what this guy lacks in some detail and some paint, he makes up for in height and just being a very bulky boy. That tail, though, is definitely going to be taking up some shelf space. So if you don't have this figure yet and you're planning on picking up this figure, definitely pose him to the side. I would definitely say not to pose him face forward unless you unhook his tail. This figure is pretty dang good looking, even with the little flubbed eye and the very limited articulation. For a kid's toy, I rather enjoy this figure. And I'm not gonna lie, this makes me want to pick up the rest of the Jakks Pacific series. But Bandai comes before all, so that will have to wait. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video, friends and neighbors. Jakks Pacific definitely got on my nerves earlier in the week, and even today, I went back to at least 2 Walmarts today, and no, they still do not have anything from the line. But it feels good to get some really good representation of the line in, finally. And it also feels really good to be adding the first Godzilla 2019 figure to the collection room. Seriously, it feels great. I have no idea if I really am going to continue on picking up the Jakks Pacific line, just because it seems like the only way I'm going to be able to get my hands on them is either waiting 2 months down the line or possibly just online. Jakks Pacific has been very helpful in answering fans' questions and such, but the answers have been here nor there, especially when they said that not all participating Walmarts will be carrying this line, so that kind of sucks. But anyway, I have been ShinRobjira. I do hope you enjoyed this review of the Jakks Pacific 20cm long Godzilla 2019 figure. Hope you enjoyed. There will be links at the end of the video for you to check out more of my Godzilla figure reviews, and until next time, everybody, I will see you all then and there. Next week, I'll be posting nothing but Godzilla content, minus on Wednesday. There's going to be a gameplay video posted up on Wednesday. But Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday is all Godzilla content. So I do hope you will come back and enjoy that. May Screonk be with you all. Have a merry weekend, everybody. Bye.